Hi, everybody. We're going to do U11 before it gets any later, the word problems. This is using elimination to solve a system of equations. So I'm going to get started right away. I haven't previewed it, so hopefully it's nice standard form equations that we can solve. So let's take a look. Oh, wow, it's kind of long. Okay. Melissa hosts a podcast and Kylie hosts a podcast. Okay. Duration of each episode. Release is 40, 27 for a total of 6,118 minutes of content. This year, how long is each episode? Oh, I see. Each episode has a set duration. So, okay, so we have Melissa and Kylie. So what we have is Melissa. We're going to say that Melissa's are M minutes long and Kylie's are K minutes long. And it says that we have 40 episodes for Melissa and 27 episodes for Kylie. And they had a total time of 61:18. And you'll see that this is a nice standard form equation. And the other one was 25 for Kylie. Got to make sure they wrote them out of order. Got to make sure you write them underneath each other. And 41, let's see. Oh, sorry. I can't read today. 27 for Melissa. There it is. 20, 25 for Melissa. And 41 for Kylie. And they had a total of 65:74. So a number of different methods for this one. Wow. They're such ugly numbers that I might want to use matrices for this. But I wouldn't have to. The trick here would be to get the 40 and the 25 as common. And so I'm going to multiply the 40 times 5 and the 25 times 8, or negative 8 rather. Let's see, probably do this one as the negative 5 so I get negatives. The reason I'm going to multiply the top by negative 5 is that since this number, the 61:18, is the smaller one, it'll give me a negative. Wow, this is really long. I'm trying to think if there's an easier way. Um, Not sure. I didn't go through all the different ones, but I would definitely use matrices on this one and use my calculator to solve it. But the next time, for this time, I'll go ahead and do it by hand. So I'm going to need to multiply using my calculator because I just don't feel like doing it in my head. 5 times 61:18. It's going to give me 31,590. So I end up with negative 200m plus negative 135k is equal to 3590. And that's also a negative. So lots of negatives going on there. And my second equation is going to be 200m plus 8 times 41 is 328. Okay. And that's equal to 8 times 6574, which is 52,592. We have to subtract the 30,590, and we get 22,002. And if I take off the 135 from here, I am really lazy today. I'm not going to do it in my head. Oh, that's 193, of course. 193k. And we're going to do our division. And we get exactly 114 for Kylie. That is 114 minutes, isn't it, for her episode? And now we have to substitute the 14 into any of these equations. It really doesn't matter which one you put it in. I'll just use the top one, doesn't matter. So 40m plus 27 times the 114 is equal to the 6118. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and take 27 times 114, and I'm going to subtract that from the 6118, and then divide by the 40, and I get 76. So I did all the work on the calculator. So m is equal to 76 minutes. And I'm not going to do my check. I am just going to substitute it in. Melissa's is 76 minutes long, and Kylie's are 114, I believe. Yeah. Wow. This looks like it could take a while. Okay, so this one isn't so bad. It looks like it was such a long, it was such big numbers that it was kind of a pain to work with. But this one doesn't look as bad. Okay, Reggie works in an amusement park and is helping decorate with strand of lights. Seems like the season to do it. This morning he used a total of 45 strands of lights to decorate 2 bushes and 3 trees. I'm just guessing. And he used 45, sorry. And this afternoon he strung trees on 4 bushes and 5 trees and used a total of 79. So clearly we've got a nice set of standard equations here, and I'm just going to multiply the top equation by -2. I could multiply by -5 and +3, but it's much easier to get rid of the b's than anything else. So I'm just going to go ahead and follow my own advice and write it right below. 4b minus 6t is equal to -90. And we have 4b plus 5t is equal to the 79. And when I add these together, I'm going to end up with -1t. I don't have a lot of space, but maybe I can get it. I'll put it up here. Yeah, maybe I can get it. That's going to be -11, isn't it? So t is equal to 11. So there were 11 trees, and I have a choice. I can put it wherever I want. I'm going to put it in the top equation. So 2b plus 3 times the 11 trees gives me 45 trees. I'm going to subtract the 33 from both sides. It's too bad we got such a hard one to start with. Didn't want to scare everybody off. That's going to be 12, isn't it? So b is equal to 6 bushes, it looks like. Well, before you, in these, where they're easy, I would go ahead and substitute it into this equation down here and just double check. So 4 times b is 24, and 5 times the 5 trees times the, 5 times the 11 trees is 55. And we should get a total of 79, and sure enough, we do. So it worked out. Every bush got, oh, I keep saying that that's the number of trees. It's not. It's the number of strands on the trees. So sorry, guys. It should be more careful with my language. Dang it. What's the B? What was B? B was 6, wasn't it? And each tree gets 11. There we go. Sorry, it's kind of messy looking, but there it is. All right, let's see if I can remember to look up on occasion since I'm okay. So there are 2 short loops and 6 long loops. I don't usually like to use S, but it just makes more sense in this case. So a lot of people use X and Y, but the problem is that a lot of times your setup will reverse the variables of interest, and it really messes you up if you don't make them easy to identify. So I have 2 short loops and 6 long loops, and I know that that's an S and not a 5, for a total of 42 kilometers. Does that make sense? It's better to use something that's identifiable instead of an X and a Y because it's kind of just random. We have 3 short loops and 6 long loops for a total of 45 kilometers. Well, that makes it pretty easy, doesn't it? Uh, that first one was really hard compared to this one. Notice that in order to eliminate the L's, the long loops, we can just multiply the top equation by -1. All I'm doing is changing all the signs and I'm going to add. Now, normally I would rewrite it and everything, but I'm going to be just really lazy and just distribute that negative to all my parts because I can see that it's going to work out really easily. I'm just going to multiply everything by a negative, and it's going to work out really nice because that's going to give me S is equal to 3 kilometers, isn't it? So my short loops are 3 kilometers, and I can substitute in my 3 in my original equation. To solve it. And we're going to subtract the 6 from both sides. Yeah, if that first one kind of scared you a little, don't worry. It's not, uh, they're not all that bad. 6 from 42 is, I can't subtract today, 36. And L is equal to 6 kilometers. Again, when these are so easy, I would definitely substitute them back into the second equation just to double check it. So 3 short loops is 9 kilometers, and 6 long loops is going to be 36 kilometers, which makes a total of 45, as we expected. Notice that this one was so similar. I was kind of worried there. I thought maybe I had the wrong equation, but it works out. So the short loops are 3, and the long loops are 6. And that is it. Okay, what do we got here? We have 61 apple ciders. I'm going to use A for apple. And 61 hot chocolates. I guess I could use H or C, either one. I'm going to avoid the C because the ciders and the chocolates. I'm just going to use H and A. For a total of $183. They raised 134 at the soccer game by selling 12 apple ciders and 61 hot chocolates for a total of 134. Again, they made it pretty easy. I'm just going to change the signs by multiplying that bottom equation by -1. And I'm going to add these up. That's going to give me, looks like 39, huh? No, sorry, 49 it looks like. Yeah, because 4 from 13 is 9, duh. And 61 minus 12 is going to give me 49, isn't it? So it looks like based on the situation, since A is equal to 1, it's saying that we're actually they should have said that they shouldn't have said that they raised a total. They should have said that their gross sales was 183 because that's a different thing. Gross sales versus how much they make are very different. But anyway, it's $1 for the A, and the hot chocolate. We're going to have to substitute the A in. I'm going to put it into the second equation. So 12 times the $1 plus the 61H gives us the 134, and we're going to subtract the 12. Subtracting 12 from both sides gives us 122, and H is equal to 2. So that the hot chocolates are selling for 2. So 1 for the apple cider and 2 for the hot chocolate. Okay, guys. Looks like we have short and long, and we have 9 short races plus 6 long races. Needs a total of 852 volunteers. 9 short races with 10 long races requires a total of 12, 16. And again, we're going to just change the sign. I'm going to change the sign of the top one. And it looks like we have 148 makes 364, I think. I'm going to go ahead and do the subtraction on the side, and that's going to be 4L, and these cancel out. So I'm going to go ahead and do my subtraction over here. I don't like to do it right there where my work is. I like to separate it out. So 1216 minus the 852. And yeah, I could grab the calculator. 5 from 11 is 6, and 8 from 11 is 3, but it worked out. Divide by the 4, and we get 91, don't we? And they are 91 volunteers. I'll just put VOL for volunteers. That's for the long races. Now the short races, I'm going to have to substitute it in. I'm going to substitute into the second one for a weird reason, because I'm multiplying by 10. That's the only reason. So 9s plus the 910. All I did was multiply the 10 times the 91 is equal to 1216. I'm going to subtract the 910 from both sides. And 9s is equal to, looks like 306. And s then, I'm going to divide 9 in there, and it looks like I get 34. If you need to see what I was doing, I'm just dividing 306 by the 9 on both sides. It goes in 3 times. We have a 3 left over and goes in 4 times. So we have 34 volunteers for the short races. And I could do my test. Let's use the calculator. Why not? I'm just going to be lazy here. So I'm going to put it into the first equation, make sure it works. That's one of the best ways to check your work, especially if you haven't used a calculator yet. Use the calculator to do that part. 6 times 91, 852, and sure enough, it works out. So for the short races, it is, dang it, I covered it up. Shoot, was it 34? Yeah. And what was the long races? 91? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write those up at the top so I can see them better. All righty then, we're getting there. Maggie is creating beaded jewelry to give her family and friends. So we talk about number of beads. So 1 bracelet and 6 necklaces takes 395 beads. We want to obviously know how many beads for each bracelet and how many for each necklace. And 4 bracelets and 5 necklaces take a total of 383. Nice, easy numbers to work with. And notice I have a 1. Whenever you have a 1, that's the one you want to kind of focus on and multiply this whole top equation by -4. And that's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and just put it over here. -4b, so I have more. Plus 6, oops, if I multiply, doesn't it? Minus 24n is equal to -4 times 395. It's going to be -1580. I used a weird rule for multiplying. What I did was I multiplied 4 times 400 minus 5, in case you're wondering how I did that. And then I put the negative on. I tack on the negative at the end. But basically, I have 1600 minus 20, which is the 1580. Then I have my 4b plus 5n is equal to 383. And I do believe I'm going to use my calculator on this. I have -19n is equal to something ugly. Let's do it on my calculator. 1580 minus 383. 1197. Of course, it's negative. And we're going to divide by 19. And we get 63. So it looks like the necklaces take 63 beads. And that first equation is definitely my choice. So my first equation says the bracelets plus 6 times the number of necklaces. Go ahead and write it like this, 395. So this is going to be 378, and I'm going to subtract that from both sides. 395 minus the 378 is 17. So the bracelets take 17 beads, don't they? Now I am going to write that at the top before I hit my start putting in my values. So the bracelets is 17 and the necklaces take 63. And I probably ought to put them in the bottom equation. And I'm going to use my calculator and be lazy. So 17 times 4 plus 5 times the 63 gives 383, and it does work. So it is 17 and 63. Okie dokie. Let's see what we got here. Oh, no. Big numbers. Okay, it's all right. It's not that big a deal. Okay, so 84 basic packages plus 85 deluxe was a total of $13,189. Man, oh man, I think I want to be a school photographer. So we have 86B plus the 71D gives us 12,141. It's the same deal, just bigger numbers, and you definitely have to use a calculator on this one. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the bottom equation. It doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to do the, not even sure which one's going to work out better for the negatives. Oh, the top one, of course. So my top one is going to be my negative. So I'm going to multiply it by negative 71. And the bottom one, I'm going to multiply it by positive 85. Notice that if I take 85 times 71, I get the same thing if I take 71 times 85. So this is going to eliminate my D's. And the reason that I did the negative on the top is because the 84 is smaller. So anyway, there we go. So let's do it. We've got, and I'm not actually going to multiply these. I'm just going to know that they're going to get canceled out. So I'm just going to maybe I better write them. Sorry, 84 times 71. I don't want you to get confused. So I've got 5964, and this is negative basic, plus the 85 times the 71 gives me negative 6035 D. And then I'm going to have this really big number here equals big. That's one big number over there. And then I'm also going to have my 85 times the 86, and that's going to give me 7310B plus, and of course it's going to be the positive this time, 6035D. And again, I'm going to have a big ugly number, but it's going to be a different big number. So it's going to be different big number. It's going to be this one right there. So now when I add these together, I'm going to get 7310 minus 5964 gives me 1346B. And I'm going to go ahead and do this on the calculator. I'm going to take the 85 times 12,141, and it happens to be like 1,031,985. It's really ugly. Minus the 71 times, and I get 95,566, and we just have to do the division. 1346. We get 71. So there are 71 basic packages, and putting the 71 in here, 86B plus, oh, I should actually put the 71 there, shouldn't I? Plus 71D is equal to the 12,141. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to do the 12,141. 71D equals 6035. That looks familiar. Divide by the 71, and you get 85, of course. D equals 85. So the deluxe packages cost 85, and the basic packages cost $71, right? Yeah, it looks like it. Sorry about that. That one was an ugly one too. You may want to skip that one, although then you end up with more problems. So not sure which way to go. Let's see. We've got 9 chocolate souffles and 8 lemon meringue pies. Takes 34 eggs, and 3 chocolate souffles and 8 lemon meringue pies take 22 eggs. And we just have to multiply the bottom equation by -1. If you didn't have any trouble with the last one, you're definitely not going to have any trouble with this one. 6C is equal to, looks like 12. And so C is equal to 2. So it looks like the chocolate souffles only take 2 eggs each. And the lemon meringue, we're going to take 9 times 2 plus 8 times L. The reason I didn't do the bottom one is because it had the negatives all over it. Didn't want to mess with them. And we have to subtract 18 from both sides. And we get 8L is equal to 34 minus 18, which is 16, isn't it? And L is also equal to 2. Interesting. Let's see if that works. 18 plus 16 is 34. And 6 and 16 makes 22. Yep. 2 and 2. Not so bad. Okay. Josiah is printing brochures. So 4 boxes of black and white and 5 color is 179, and 3 black and white and 5 color is 168. Oh, how nice. Just change the sign and we have our answer, which happens to be, looks like 11, doesn't it? It sure does. So each black and white brochures boxes are $11 each box. And then I just have to put in my 11. 4 times 11 plus 5C equals 179. Subtract the 44 from both sides. 5C equals 135. C is equal to 27. Now, I recommend you go ahead and put it into the other equation just to check your answer. You definitely don't want to make a mistake on the easy ones. $11 for these, 27 for the colors. Let's see if it makes sense with the other one. So if we put the, which one am I going to do? I'm going to use this one right here. So let's see, 33 plus the 135 is equal to 168, and it does work. 11 for the black and white, 27 for the color. Okay, 15 regular and 10 deluxe. Again, some of you are going to be very tempted to use X and Y. I don't recommend it, but it doesn't matter that much. It's just, especially when they don't reverse them on the other sentence. After lunch, they assembled 12 regular and 14 deluxe, using a total of 62. Oh, interesting that they're so, 65 and 62 are so close to each other. Lots of possibilities. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and use the 10 and the 14 for a good reason. I'm going to multiply the top one by 14 and the bottom one by -10. And the reason I chose 10 is because it's easy to multiply by 10. That's why. Okay. So 14 times 15 is going to be 210 R plus 14 times 10 is 140 D, of course. And 14 times 65, I'm going to use the calculator. I'm lazy. 5 times 14. I probably shouldn't have. 910. All right. The bottom one, I definitely don't need to calculate it for. That's 120R minus 140D. The whole idea was to get rid of it, equals -620. And we do our subtraction, and we end up with 90R. That cancels, and we end up with, geez, I can't subtract today, 0. That's a 9, isn't it? And 6, how come? 2 of them? Did I make a mistake? It looks okay. Huh. Where is my mistake? Looks okay. Yeah. Maybe I'm not. No, that's 90. Where am I making my mistake? Did I multiply 15 times 14 wrong? Oh my God. No? All right, I'm going to check it one more time. 15 regular, 10 deluxe, 65 pine cones, yep. 12 regular, 14 deluxe. Oh, 82. So the regular ones use 1, don't they? Jeez. I can't see today. I swear. Okay, I was looking over here instead of here. Yeah, I just didn't see it. So R is equal to 1. So 12 plus 14D is equal to 82. Sorry, it's getting messy here. Subtract the 12 from both sides and you get 14D is equal to 70. So D is equal to 5. So they used 5. The regular have 1 and the deluxe have 5. And it's a really good idea to check your answer. We'll put 1 for here and 5 for here, and we should get 65, and we do. Sorry, guys. All right, 15 small and 14 large. Uses a total of 129 meters of ribbon. And 14 small and 12 large uses a total of 114. Now, in this particular case, I could get a slightly smaller common multiple by multiplying the top by 6 and maybe the bottom by 7. It's going to be really hard for most students to see that. And it's going to be a lot easier probably for them to see the 14 and the -15, or the 14 and the negative 12, or some combination of those. Yes, you could get away with a little bit smaller numbers, but I'm just going to go ahead and multiply the top by 14 and the bottom, negative 14, and the bottom by 15. And the reason that is because the 12 is smaller than the 14, and that's going to make it work out nicer. So I have 15 times 14, which is 210, negative 210 again. They like that number. So I have negative 210s. 14 squared is 196. And the 129, negative. The 129 I'm definitely use a calculator for. Negative 1806. And in the denominator, we have the 210s. The 15 times 12 is going to be the 180. And the 15 times 114, no, I'm not. I could. I just don't feel like it. 1710. And we're going to do some addition here. Oh, what did I do? Did I multiply? I ended up multiplying the negative times the bigger one. Oops. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Negative 16L is equal to negative 194, maybe? No, 196, I think. We'll go ahead and put it in 1806 minus 1710. Yeah, 96. And of course, it's negative. Dividing by negative 16 on both sides gives us what? 6. So L is equal to 6 meters. And we can use any of the equations. By the way, if you're really crazy, you could use this one, or even worse yet, this one. But of course, we want to use one of the original equations if we can. So it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to use this one, 15s plus 14 times 6 is equal to the 129. And we're just going to subtract this 84 from both sides. And it cancels out. And we have 15s. Sorry, that 15 is kind of funky looking there. Geez, I just can't seem to fix it. That's going to give me 45, I think. And we're going to divide by 15 on both sides and get S is equal to 3 meters. Now let's double check this. It's a really good idea to check your work. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of multiplying in my head. You generally want to check your answer. And I used the second one, so I'm going to put it in the first one to check it. So I have 3 for S and 6 for L, and I should get 129. Let's see if I do. 45 plus the 14 times 6 is 129, and it works. So each small one uses 3, and the large ones use 6, don't they? Let's see now. I've been at this a while. Let's see. 2 sitcoms and 2 dramas for a total of 126 minutes of programming, and 5 sitcoms and 3 dramas give us a total of 235 minutes of programming. And we're just going to multiply the top equation by negative 5 and the bottom equation by 2. Oh, looks like I'm going to end up with a negative again, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where you put the negative. Shall I do it this way? Plus and minus, since I can finally see it now. So we've got 10s, if I distribute the 5 to the whole top equation, plus 10d And 5 times 126 gives me the, God, 630. Is that right? Yeah, 630. The bottom one is negative 10s plus negative 6d. And if we multiply that, so we're going to give the 470. And we're going to do a little subtraction here, and we get 4d. And take away the 470, looks like 160 maybe. Dividing by 4 on both sides, it looks like we get d is equal to 40, and it looks like it's 40 minutes. So it looks like the dramas are going to be 40 minutes each. And then we're going to have to do the sitcoms. So we have 2s plus 2 times 40 is equal to the 126. So we're going to subtract the 80 from both sides. And we get 2s is equal to 46. And when we solve it, we get s is equal to 23, which is pretty reasonable. Sitcoms seem to be about 23 minutes long with lots of commercials, and dramas are about 40 minutes long. Yeah, it seems right. But of course, it's always a good idea to check it. And since I used the top equation, I'm going to put it into the bottom one to check it. So we have 23 times 5, which is 115, plus the 120 for our dramas gives us 235, which is correct. So our dramas are 40 and our sitcoms are 23. Two more. I'm getting really tired. Okay, so 4s. Not so tired. I'm just ready to try something else. 182. And we have 5s plus 5 medium gives us a total of 360. And there's no real nice ones. We can multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by the negative 2. And it's going to work out really nice. That's going to give us 20s plus 10m is equal to, looks like 910. And then we're going to have negative 10s plus negative 10m is equal to negative 720. And it works out pretty nice. It looks like we're going to get 90 or 190. Looks like 190. So we get 190 is equal to 10s. So s is equal to 19. It looks like there are 19 guests can be served with a small cake, it looks like. And then we need a medium cake as well. So I'm going to use the top equation. 4 times 19 plus 2 times the mediums will serve 182 guests. I'm just going to use my calculator. Minus the 4 times 19. And we're going to divide that by 2. And we have 53 guests for a medium cake. So we definitely want to substitute this into our second equation and check it. It looks like small is 19 and medium is 53. I'm going to write them up here just so they don't get covered up. And we're going to substitute it into our bottom equation, make sure it works. 5 times 19 plus the 5 times the 53 gives us 360 guests, and it works out. Looks like we have 19 and 53. And I can't imagine that you're with me for this long, but it looks like we may be on our last one finally. Looks like we have 23 one-sided copies. I'm going to use O for that, I guess. And 36 two-sided copies. Usually I don't like using an O ever, just like I don't like using an S because it looks like a 5. But I know it's an O, so it's okay, I guess. And it takes 154 seconds. Man, that's fast. The next one, she did 26 one-sided and 44 two-sided. And it took 184 seconds. And I probably could have written these a little smaller, but I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top equation by the 26. Yeah. And the bottom equation, oh, maybe negative 23. It doesn't matter. Either one works. All right, we're almost done. Times 26 is 598. So we have 598 O plus 26 times 36, 936T. And I'm going to go ahead and write it out. 26 times my 154, 4004. This might be a good one to do because I'm only doing 3 really hard examples, so it's always good to do the harder ones. Notice the choices that I made. I could have used 23 and negative 26, but I could have also used the 44 and the 36. Just would have made it even bigger, but it doesn't matter. It works either way. So we have the 23 times 26, which is negative 598, of course. Now I have the negative 44 and 23. 10, 12. And of course, I'm going to get a negative, but that's all right. I didn't mind at all getting a negative because occasionally you're going to do these and it isn't always really obvious which one to multiply the negative by to make it sure it gets positive. So here we go. We're going to subtract the 936 minus the 1012, and we get a negative 76T. And we have our 228, don't we, here? It's negative 228. And it looks like T is 3. So the two-sided copies, T is equal to 3, take 3 seconds each. And we're almost done. We just have to choose one of these. So I'm going to use 23O plus 3 times the 36 is 118. No, 108 is equal to 154. We're going to subtract the 108 from both sides. We get 23O. Subtracting the 108 gives us 46, I believe. And so the one-sided copies takes 2 seconds each. Now, you definitely should check this one. So, especially since I'm doing so much of it in my head, 26 times the 2 seconds plus the 44 times the 3 seconds gives us a total of 184, which is correct. So it takes 2 seconds to make a one-sided copy and 3 seconds to make a two-sided copy. And I hope you guys will do yours and get your mastery. It definitely took a while. So hope you enjoy them and you get them done. Bye-bye. See you back again.